What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle, 9 a.m., even on the weekends. Thank you for joining. The tweet that got me here is right on the screen from Bloomberg Opinion, blue check mark. I couldn't believe this. I thought it was forged. I thought this was fake when I first saw this. We may get to the point where we must force people to get this thing for the public good. Things are escalating really quickly. What happens when incentives for this thing aren't enough? It's right there. It's reluctant citizens can slow down, the goal that we're reaching towards despite having enough inventory. So now they're talking about compulsory. So you must be compelled. What does that mean? Sounds ominous. It sounds scary. It sounds un-American. You can look at the quote tweets, and the quote tweets are unbelievable on this thing. It's one of the craziest things ever. So it got ratioed, which is a good sign. But take a look at these quote tweets in response to just the headline. We're going to get into this a little bit deeper, but look at the I follow Cassandra. She's like, she got her doge eyes or whatever. Wow. This isn't even funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. This is not funny at all. I tweeted this could be viewed as a threat, like a threat towards civil war. That's how serious this is. He's not joking. Robbie was just on with Tim Pool the other day. I cannot emphasize seriously how dangerous even suggesting something like this is. We the people will never, ever, ever stand for this. Remember when Dr. Wen said, we need to use people's freedom as a carrot to motivate them to get that needle before they realize they don't need it to have their freedom.
If everything is reopened, then what's the carrot going to be? How are we going to incentivize people to...
Remember when Shemek Koresh said you must shun your neighbor into this thing?
We've got to shun folks. We've got to shun people into getting...
Dr. Fauci, do as you're told.
Well, I understand that, but now is the time to do what you're told. Do what you're told. Do what you're told. Do what you're told.
So maybe it hasn't escalated because that's all this is. But I would still consider this an escalation. Quote from the article says it's uncomfortable to argue for obligatory jabs, even during our times that have devastated families globally. Yet if we don't get to better levels, once these things are fully and freely available, some degree of compulsion may well be necessary. The benefit is too great and the risk and sacrifice asked of citizens too small to ignore. That's the thought behind this. It gets even more uncomfortable when you start to realize that this is an op-ed from Bloomberg News, which is under Bloomberg Opinion underneath Bloomberg News. There is no significant information or opinion that is allowed through the editor from that publication that is not okay for the top guy, Michael Bloomberg and others. Do you remember 2020? Bloomberg News will not investigate Mike Bloomberg or his Democratic rivals during primary. That sounds like a healthy country. I put that there to show he will, or they will, self-edit when they feel it's necessary. That opinion wasn't self-edited. Bloomberg News is owned by Michael Bloomberg. Net worth as of 5/22, $59 billion. He is one of the richest and most powerful men in the world. He has his own political action committee. Michael Bloomberg has created a major effort to support candidates and referenda in local, state, and federal races across the country with a focus on issues including gun laws, the environment, and education policy. So we've tied in that you can't have opinions like this on his publication without that being A-OK. He's one of the most powerful men in the world. And now we're seeing him linked to Democrat politics by funding. His Independence USA PAC, grand total spent in 2020, over $56 million. Of that money, 54 mil went supporting one candidate who won. We know who that was, Joe Biden. And then 2 million opposing a candidate who lost, which is the goal, which was Donald Trump. So we're saying that the ad's not an accident. I mean, the op-ed is not an accident. Michael Bloomberg is always involved in this stuff. He's directly tied into the Democrat Party financially. He vowed to spend whatever it took, and he did. In July of 2020, NPR described him as, I quote, the single biggest donor to the Democrats this year. Bloomberg has already spent well over $350 million for Democrats this cycle, according to his team. So this opinion, this op-ed, can't be looked in a vacuum as if it's just one writer spewing nonsense. Let's go back to the article. Compulsory, compulsory is a strong term. Full compulsion, which implies fines or even prison, as opposed to simply not getting a benefit or public service, isn't easily embraced. But the harm principle also suggests that intervention is necessary when there is a real or potential injury to others, and the harm here is great. 3.4 million lives lost to date. So what they're talking about with the harm principle, we're talking about you are going to harm me. So I'm going to say because of my safety or the safety of the public, you will need to get compelled to do as I say. Take University of Richmond philosopher Jessica Flanagan's comparison between refuseniks and a person firing a weapon into the air. That's what you're being compared to. We'd want to stop the shooter because bystanders could get hurt or killed. The same, she argues, applies to this. It's less about the right to refuse than the right to not get infected. This is frightening. This is scary. You saw the quote tweets. One of them said, are these people on crack? Force? A question mark. Someone else brought up Bloomberg. Fascist much? F you. Please try it, I beg you. And most of these people posting this stuff are probably fugazi. But that's not the point. The point is there are people out there who are not. And even to bring this up, something is going on. Something is not normal about our times right now. Something's not right. This is not normal to see that type of op-ed. I've never, ever seen anything like that before. And no one even bats an eye at this stuff. It doesn't get reported anywhere. I'm a day late on this. Everyone's just acting like this is all normal. Nothing to see here. You know, it probably doesn't apply to you if you're listening to this channel. But if you can't see that something weird, even though I don't know what it is, if you can't see that something weird is going on and you're walking through life and you see this, you watch this video and you're like, no, there's nothing to see here. There's a chance that you're walking through life as a character that's non-playable. And I'm hoping that if you are one of the few that's gotten to this point in this video, tell me, most people are not going to be that non-playable character or that walking zombie. But hopefully if you are, this can wake you up. Take care.
You will only old non-aggression. Once that lesson sets in, you'll see a session. But you got an affection for no progression, regression. The best don't obsess about oppression. Possess weapons, mind and body protect when defense is necessary. Appendix carry. This will vary, nothing is foolproof, but fools fool you. So do you and lose dudes that want you to lose. So hacks can use you as a stat, but they have been wrong. You are not defined by just your skin tone. So why attach yourself and piggyback the wealth you didn't earn or lack yourself? I'm telling you to own up to your own success and failures. It's a reason why these sleazy guys have you focused on all the bad news, hoping that it is tattooed in your mind that you will wince without assistance. And now you're dealing with others' experiences. You have no identity of your own, and you're defined by everybody else. No sense of self, hollow and inept, cause you have nothing of your own, and you're defined by everybody else. No sense of self, hollow and inept. I'm not undermining nobody's struggle, and I'm not saying life's a box of chocolate or carnivals. I like to weigh in cause you might have got what you bargained for. I hope you take it in a lot, this ain't an argument for. Part of you gotta be smart enough to know why you partying up. Your art really sucks, the audience starting you up. Chamber of echoes ringing, same brain with names changing, hearing opposing opinion and you malfunction. Character's non-playable, that's why you hate to move. And when you try to save a dude, they get to hating you. They don't wanna be saved, but one of these days someone will say they told you so. You're gonna get played, but that's your business. Don't get your wig split acting an idiot. Back up a tidbit, this ain't a diss, kid, so list this. I wish this misfit would get pissed enough to get it, but he mad at all the wrong folk because he missed it. Yo, look, this ain't for sing-alongs. I don't want you to get it wrong. I know what you was tripping on. You've been lied to your whole life, fool. The right to beside you. That's why you always focus on what the white dudes do. Fist in the air, screaming loud and being proud. But you are going through the motions. What you leaving out? What have you been accomplishing? Did something get done within the month you've been marching for the fun of it? The only thing you got is exercise. Wise up and trying to get your eyes up. It's like an exorcist, size up. Existential heat essentially has no mind of his own, and that's why he's an NPC.